Well, Overwatch 2 came out, and everyone's shitting on it already, so I figured I'd give my fair take of shit.
Bronze, we're not doing that. We're doing something different than everyone else.
Right. So, yeah, I'm going to be giving a fair, honest review on Overwatch 2, and being a former loving fan of the first game before Activision Blizzard happened, I refused to play the game anymore after what's come out with the company. Activision Blizzard is a horrible company. You're right, I'm sorry. Also, Xbox is buying, or trying to buy for that matter, Activision Blizzard, and since Phil promised change in the company, I'm hopeful Xbox will turn the company around for the better. So I decided to give Overwatch 2 a shot, and without further ado, here's an honest review on Overwatch 2! A lot of 2s in recent videos. Being named Overwatch 2 should mean this will be a completely new experience compared to the first one. We've got new maps, new characters, new modes, and new unlock features along with a few other things I'm probably missing. Instead of 6-on-6, the game is now 5-on-5 with the gameplay layout pushing toward one tank for each team. Characters have been altered in their own ways while some have been completely untouched. All the tanks have something different, including Doomfist, who has been adjusted to now be a tank. The tank that I believe has changed the most is easily Orisa, with 2 of her abilities and even her ult changing as well. Being an Orisa main, I gotta say it's easily for the better. Her abilities and ult is much better in my opinion. DPSs, on the other hand, don't really have that many changes, which is to be expected because whereas you lose one tank in the new 5-on-5 mechanic, you still have 2 DPS. Some characters don't even have changes. The DPS that looks to have changed the least is probably Genji because, of course, while the most is Sombra, but I wouldn't know since I don't really use her, but from what I've seen, she's had several changes. Support players can now support themselves more thanks to their passive, and actually, most characters have the same passive now based on what class they're in. The least changed support is easily Moira as of making this video. I can tell you myself as someone who plays her often, she hasn't changed at all, while the most changed support seems to be Brigitte. But I haven't touched her since the new release, so I couldn't tell you what's changed myself. Along with changes to the characters we know, we now have a new character in each category on top of it. Junker Queen is new to the tank game. Sojourn is the new DPS, and lastly is Kiriko as the new support and the first brand new character for this game. Looking at them, I can see why Blizzard didn't want to release the 3D models, but that never stopped the internet. I've tried all of them, and I gotta say, Sojourn is easily the most broken of the 3 normally. Total Mayhem, though, that's Junker Queen's yard. I'd say Zarya's, but she's God, not broken in Total Mayhem, so she doesn't count. You don't have to try with either of them in that mode, and speaking of modes, No Limits is now a permanent mode. We have a few new escort maps, and Push Mode is new where you escort a robot to push a barricade to the opponent's side. Why is he pushing a barricade? It's a video game. It's free. Who cares? Oh yeah, the game's free too. The last thing I can see that's notably changed is that we no longer have loot boxes, the thing Overwatch cemented in video games in the late 2010s, including wrestling games. Why are loot boxes in WWE 2K19? Oh well, it's better than 2K20 and 2K22. We now have a battle pass instead, which was inevitable. Everyone copies everyone. So yeah, that's all the changes I can see in Overwatch 2, gameplay-wise. Since I've mentioned it all, let's go into further detail with everything. My biggest complaint, I'll get it out of the way now, is what I said at the beginning of the previous section. It's labeled a different game, so you expect a new game. It's not. It's Overwatch 1 with a big update, like everyone else has said. This has nothing to do with the game, but I was actually going to make a quick review for this game last week, but I couldn't even play the game because 2,000 players were ahead of me in a queue just to get to the main menu. It kind of shows how much Blizzard prepared for this new release, well, big update for that matter, when there's a 2,000 player queue just to get into the main menu of the game. Then the Battle.net account link was a pain as well. I was in a 400,000 player queue for that, but it only took one night, maybe 2, so that wasn't too bad. It's not the game's fault the company didn't properly prepare for the game, but it was free to play. What did they expect? Skirmish is all but dead when waiting for a game. Seeing empty maps barely used in-game just for skirmishes, which is empty 90% of the time, is kind of sad. That's another thing I didn't like about Blizzard. They took down the original servers for Overwatch to adjust them for servers to fit the new game. People will of course defend it, saying, they have to adjust their servers for the new game because it's too much for the company to run servers for 2 separate games. First off, that's a stupid, idiotic defense. The exact same company is still running servers for Call of Duty games over 10 years later, multiple of which is on the Wii, and have no problem. Second, it was a petty decision for Blizzard to do that because now, if you wanna play Overwatch at all, you have to play the new one. Overwatch 2 would have happily succeeded without having to close servers for the first game because it's free and new. People are gonna play it even if it's unfinished and dog shit looking at you every single video game nowadays. It's literally just to force people to play the new game, and it's a very, very petty move, but that's not the worst thing that company's done. I do get that the events could be difficult for both games, but just drop events for the first Overwatch and put it in the second one. Literally what the same company does for its new games. Again, it's just to force people to play the new game because they were worried nobody would because of what's been going on with the company that's been happening for well over a year, but again, it's new. People don't care, they're gonna play it. I'd go further into this mindset with this problem, but that's not for this video, another time. More complaints about the game. Well, it's just a big update. It's not a new game like it shows. 2 after the title means a new game, but we don't have that, and even then, Overwatch 2 is not finished, but I can't complain about that because everyone makes unfinished games now. Again though, this video is not for that topic. You can tell it's not finished because of what Blizzard has told us the game would have been, but it's free, what are you gonna do? The characters I really have no complaints about, except for some having, like, really bad bugs like Zarya and Total Mayhem and Bastion's ult, but those can be fixed. And nobody really wants to pick certain characters. They may towards the new players, but that's to be expected with new characters. Yeah, you kinda have to be sweaty as a healer, but that's inevitable. Everyone's gonna target the healers because it's easy to get them. There's one map I don't like for a very specific reason. Circuit Royal, I hate this hill. It's so easy to defend that escort on that hill against attackers. It's not fair in the slightest. Aside from that though, I don't really have complaints about the maps or characters. It does feel nice and balanced to an extent, except for Junker Queen and Zarya on Total Mayhem. The Battle Pass, I don't like. It was inevitable they were gonna drop loot boxes. That's not what every other thing is doing anymore, but you can do a Battle Pass right. I mean, look at Fortnite. Can't believe I'm saying that in a video. Fortnite does battle passes right. Again, I never thought I'd ever be saying anything positively about Fortnite in a video, yet here I am. If you complete the entire battle pass in Fortnite, you get more V-Bucks than what you put in, so you can get the next battle pass and the next battle pass and so on. Overwatch doesn't do that, so now you have to pay to get most of the new stuff. Yeah, there's the shop, but again, it's repeating and duplicating every other thing. In the first Overwatch, at least you got a loot box every level up, which was always 20,000 experience, so you could at least get something. The Battle Pass is 10,000 experience, I get that, but now you have to pay for stuff to get good things. No leniency with skins and such anymore. Even if there's a skin shop, again, costs money. No free points, a big downgrade from the first game. It's free to play though, that's just how free to play games roll. So yeah, plenty of negatives compared to the first one, but this game is not completely negatives. I don't end my videos on a negative note, so let's go over some positives. This game looks amazing. They Pixar'd all the characters, but I wouldn't say it's bad, just different. The game's free for everyone, and old players got all of their skins and such from the first game for free. The game is playable and doesn't have ungodly bugs and crashes, but that's probably because it's just a big update. But they could have screwed it all up and they surprisingly didn't. The maps are all good, but Circuit Royal's one spot. I love the new characters. I enjoy using all of them, which I didn't really have for quite a few of the new characters released in the first game. Escort's still alright. Push is awesome. I love the new robot. Look at him schmovin'! He's just having a good time. I'm honestly surprised none of the robot characters have dialogue with them. It'd be pretty funny seeing Orisa or Echo crush on him. I know Jenny would. Hey, there's a Teenage Robot reference. Haven't seen one of those in a while. No limits being permanently implemented is nice, and the Battle Pass, while being a downgrade compared to the previous game, is nice that you know what you're getting now instead of 4 random things every loot box, and you do get a few nice things for free on top of it. Yes, the game's not quite finished, but it's more finished than any other game I can think of like it that's come out this year. It does feel like some people at the company, the few good people for that matter, do care about this game, but again, after what's happened to Activision Blizzard for over a year now, it's probably rough working on it. It's fully playable, it works, and it's free. If you had to pay for this game, I honestly would not have bought it. So the fact that it's free is good because new people can be introduced to this game, and we're gonna have more coming out with it too. I don't really like free updates, looking at you, Nintendo, but it's free, so I'll let it pass. Still looking at you, Nintendo. Free updates for a $60 game, basically, we didn't care enough to finish the game, but we want your money, so buy it, you zombie-minded 8-year-old and toxic die-hard fan.
You should really control your rants, Bronze.
I'm sorry, Jen. I know. I just can't stand that Nintendo's become the very thing it pushed away in the 80s because I loved that company at one point. Now, I can't stand 99% of what they do.
Bronze, we're on.
Oh, shit. Right. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm sure you understand. If not, oh well. Now, I could go on more about the players in the game, support people that refuse to heal you. I haven't really seen that though, but that's different for every player in every game, and many other things about this game, but I think I've made my point in about every new aspect, so I'll end the video with my overall thoughts. It's a little disappointing. It's borderline false advertising because this isn't a new game, it's just a big update. That's probably why they made it for free, so that way they could avoid the false advertising refunds. Like what happened with WWE 2K20, it should be called Overwatch 1.5. Speaking of numbers, out of 10, I'd give Overwatch 2 a 4 out of 10. It's basically the first game with a few new things, so I can't give it anything above a 4. It's not a new game, it doesn't get a new game rating, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I do enjoy this game. I feel I can confidently play this game because Xbox will hopefully turn this company around for the better. It's just that, at the end of the day, it's basically a typical game in a ruined market because the video game market is ruined and horrible compared to what it once was. Video games are not made for creativity, they're made to milk gamers out of every penny they can, and it has no signs of getting better, but that's, again, for another time. Now, if the game was buggy and crashed a lot, I'd rate it much lower, and if it cost money, I'd rate it horribly. Like 1 out of 10 or 0.5 out of 10, but it's not that. There's some good in it and some effort in it which keeps it from being lower, but not enough to keep it from being average. And that was an honest review of Overwatch 2. I'd like to thank Jen for helping me make this video, and as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a good one.